Today is Monday, May the 20th. And the one redeeming factor today is that relative volume of the Dow stocks was at about 75%. NASDAQ, which had a big drop at the open and never recovered, whereas the Dow didn't recover to previous close, but came close to it. The NASDAQ didn't, and that was due to the news about that was due to concern about how technology stocks are going to be impacted by the American decision regarding Huawei. Volume was a little bit higher in the NASDAQ, but still lower than relative average volume. And in the S&P, we had even lower, probably 70% of the relative trading volume. We didn't come up close to the prior close, but we saw the same recovery off the opening lows. This should serve as a lesson. Never trade in the first 15 minutes. And if you can help it, don't trade in the first half hour unless you're simply a day trader and you're timing the market and you're taking advantage of the opening drop and you have some reason to believe that it's going to come back. I think most of the time you'd be right. But other than that, don't play in the first 15 minutes because that's when the big guys are buying. The mutual funds, the hedge funds, they've got their orders ready to go at 9:30, and you're just getting in the way. So let's now look at the market breadth in the oscillator. First of all, we saw the decliners led by 2-to-1. And that was unlike Friday's 3-to-1, which brought the oscillator down. We thought it would be close to the 100. It's just a little bit above the 100. It's definitely going to be below the 100 and heading for these two previous lows again. So I would think that what we're going to see here is we don't often see it coming off of the midpoint and then bouncing right back. As you see here, as you see here, as you see here, didn't come right back. It came down and tested actually below the median lows. But once it's headed down to this median range, it pretty much always gets there. It was a bit of a mess back here last summer. But I would look for another couple of days, at least tomorrow, to be down again if you're following the McClellan oscillator. So now let's look at the S&P 500. We had a perfect looking doji on the day. So neither the buyers up here or the sellers down here were winners today. We finished right in the middle and right on the cloud. The chikou span isn't telling us anything other than we saw this resistance on Thursday, which called for the drop on Friday. And we're going to see, we could see the candle now move into the cloud, and we could see the chikou span getting support on the 50, which tomorrow would be around 2,800. That would be a drop of 40 points, and that's entirely possible. So let's put that alert in here, and we'll remember that when we do the video tomorrow night. So we're looking at the chikou span to touch the 50-day not the 8-day, the 50-day exponential moving average. So that's where we could see it coming in tomorrow, around 2,800. Going on to Apple. Apple got hammered today by another analyst who gave it a hold rating down from his previous buy. I should look at tip ranks and tell you what I thought of it. I'll do that tomorrow. The damage is done already. But look what happened. The chikou span fought with the 50, but stopped dead on the 200. So that, our close right here. So we had quite a substantial drop, didn't touch the bottom of the cloud, recovered about 75% of the losses to finish off down, but the 200 was our saving grace. So let's just put a marker on this, and we will come and visit that tomorrow. We've also got the 8 EMA, which hit the cloud and stopped the stopped any further price erosion. Let's look at a weekly for Apple. We're above the 200. Of course, we saw that. Let's go back to the S&P and just let's look at its weekly, because it was important to us because of this confluence here of the 200 simple moving average, the 200 exponential moving average, the top of the cloud. And now the chikou span has a possibility this week of actually going down here to the top of this candle. If it gets past a 50, a 208, which is going to be a lot of resistance. So I don't see it coming down there, but if it were to touch the top of this candle this week, that would be the same as hitting the bottom of this cloud. Remember, we've got this flat part here, so that is pulling the index down. So I'm still looking for more down in the S&P. Caterpillar, sick. Are we getting any signals at all? On a weekly, we're down below the candles, so tough time. I still got the Gartley drawn up here, but it's going to take a pretty darn quick reverse. This Gartley is dead once it goes below 115.52. Gold, let's just look at it on a daily basis. Gold miners, clearly what we're looking at here is this bullish cross of the 50 exponential moving average and the 200. And as every day goes by, it's getting closer and closer. Intel, another downgrade today. That stock you better stay away from. Western Digital, not getting any news, not getting any help from the trade discussions, that's for sure. And it was one of the technology stocks today that was impacted by Huawei. The other one is our Whirlpool, which we're not ready to buy into yet by any means. This is the weekly. Let's look at the daily. The daily just shows us at one point today, when we came down to this point here, we effectively saw the 200, saw the chikou span actually go down and hit the 200 and bounce up. So we saw the 200-day moving average acting as support for the chikou span. You all remember how that works, right? The chikou span is a reflection of the current price. So as the current price moves up and down, the chikou span moves directly with it. So that when price came down here, it was above the 200 simple moving average, but back here at the chikou span did touch the 200-day moving average, and it got that support. So we should continue to consider that that price is going to be support. And we still have this alert set because it was the previous low. And we said it wouldn't be a bad place to buy and take some off there. I'm still saying that that's a possibility. If you want to buy Whirlpool and you think something's going to happen that's going to change any momentum in the market, go ahead and buy Whirlpool. Just make sure that you put a stop below 125.71. But, 25 cents below that, because it's going to come down and touch the 200. If it lingers below the 200, you'd want to start monitoring this with a trailing stop.